Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. Dobry večer. I have been meaning to do this one for a while. I've been hashing this idea around in my head for quite a long time and was just working on the wording of it. And I had posted something like this as an explanation for someone on Facebook. And I thought, well, maybe I should just go ahead and do a video about this. And this is totally my opinion. It's just me blurbing. And I thought, well, I'll see if anybody agrees with me. And some of this comes from what I used to do before I became a Muslim. And what I did was I learned how to play poker. And to me, poker is a metaphor for life. I know there will probably be a few idiots who would want to shred me on that one, but well, that's their problem. But here it goes. To me, poker is a metaphor for life because there are certain elements that are required for it to take place. In poker, you have to have a dealer who deals the cards and runs the game. You have to have players. Otherwise, the dealer is just throwing cards at the air and then getting nothing done. And then you have to have the cards themselves, and you have to have chips or money, but for purposes of this video, I'll only go with chips. And in Islam, of course, gambling is haram, but the basic idea is, I think, something that might help anyone, whether it be Muslim or non-Muslim, to kind of get a handle on how life works, or at least how it does for me. But anyway, so in poker, there are circumstances that you have to react to. You have to go with the cards that you are dealt. You just can't pick, say, I want this one or that one, I don't want that one. You have to go with what is given to you, and the chips are your resources that you use to choose your action, how you want to respond, whether you take an action, you bet, how much. You have to decide how much of your resources you want to use for that action, or you sit it out and wait for the next round. In life, it's similar, whereas in poker you have a dealer that runs the game. It is God who runs life. He is the creator, whether you call him God, Allah, Yahweh, Jehovah, Dios, whatever name you refer to the creator. God runs the show. He gives you circumstances, which I equate to the cards, and you have to decide how you will react to those circumstances and what others are doing around you that may affect how you react, how you make your move. And instead of the chips for your resources, you have gifts from God, blessings from God, tangible and intangible things that you can draw on to make your move, whether you want to spend money to buy a particular item as opposed to another item, or whether you save it for a later time. Or if you lose, you make an action. For instance, you make an investment in something and it tanks. And that investment has basically gone belly up, and you have lost all those resources, that time as well as the money you put into it. And resources can include anything. It can be, do you give something to someone to meet their need, or just as a gift? Do you give to a charity, you decide how much to give, under what method you give, under what circumstances you give, and whether or not you gave to a credible charity. Because if you give to an entity that is operating at less than standard practice, then you're out that money and no one benefits from it except the fat cats at the top. No offense to Mila or any other kitties out there. Or should I say the big dogs, but anyway. So it's up to you to react to those circumstances that are given to you. You decide, do I put this resource into that thing over there, or that other thing over there, or how much, or do I pass on it and wait for another opportunity? And again, as in poker, if you make a bad move in poker, you lose those chips that you bet on that hand that you misread when someone did something that you did not think would happen. You misread the signs, you misinterpreted what was going on, and you lose it, and you could lose all your chips and you're basically out of the game. But in life, if you make wrong moves, if you misread situations, and we all do that, we're human, then you lose whatever resources you put into it, time, talent, money, goods, whatever, and you are basically out of what you put in and you don't get anything back. Whether Allah gives you any reward in the afterlife, that's totally up to him. But if you lose everything and you make the most serious of bad moves, you obviously lose the most important resource, which is your life. And well, then you just have to wait in the grave until the day of judgment, and you answer to God for what you did and didn't do. But so that's my take on life, and I don't know if you agree or disagree or whatever, but that's how I see it. I mean, when I learned how to play poker, that's what came into my head, thinking, this is how life is. This is a set of circumstances. You don't know what's going to happen. You can try to predict it, but you could be wrong. Or you could be right. But it all depends on not only what you do, what others around you do, and what God does, because he is in ultimate control of everything. He decides what situations you will be tested with, and he gives you the resources with which you use to take whatever action you choose. And if you make the right moves with what God has given you, and you do it in the right sense, with the right attitude, the right intention, then you will ultimately be the winner. And you will have the opportunity to face God in judgment, and hopefully, by God's will, have more good deeds in your favor than bad ones. And if certain things come out in certain ways, some of your bad deeds could get run off onto someone else who wronged you, and their good deeds could get run off onto you as recompense for them wronging you. So that's another thing that could happen. You could be paid extra in the afterlife for what someone else did to you and did not repent of. And of course, once you're dead, you can't repent of anything. You can't do anything except wait for God to judge you on the day of judgment. So I hope this analogy helps some people who might be wondering about a few things. And again, I remind you, I'm not saying go play poker. I'm just saying think about it. Think about what it means, the what situations you're faced with, how you're tested, and then choose the best way that you know how to go for the best opportunities and ignore the hazards, or at least lessen them if you can. And just try your best. Remember, you're human. We're all human. We all make the occasional oops now and then. But as long as you make it right and you seek God's forgiveness, and that should be in your favor in the end. So I hope this helps. Again, this is just my take on things. No one else gave me this. No one stuck this in my ear. It's just how I choose to look at things, and people have understood it when I explained it to them, and they seem to like it, and it seems to help. So hopefully this benefits you. And of course, when I say in my khutbah summaries, which I will hopefully have one tomorrow, inshallah, whatever is good comes from Allah, from God, and whatever is bad is totally my bad. So I can't blame Mila for that. So thanks for watching. Assalamu alaikum, do widzenia, and miao Mila.